Welcome back to the fifth and final installment of Stephen King's reflections on EC&I 831 computers in the classroom. I guess probably the most important thing about this course is how it helped me grow professionally and personally. Um, there's a lot that came out of it for me. I began to meet with teachers on Thursdays to talk about technology in my school as a result of this class. I was so excited by what I was learning, I wanted to share it with others. I also started a series of Moodlers meetings on Tuesdays, and we met for 4 straight weeks with both groups. And with the Moodlers, we began not knowing how to create a class, and we finished with 5 people who were able to create content in a Moodle platform. I think the course has made me a more positive person in several ways. I've got new answers to old questions that I did not have answers to before, and now I have some new things that I want to test out. But also, because of the positive nature of the sharing that goes on in the Twitter environment, I think that's helped me become more positive as a person and look at things a little more differently. That openness and willingness to share is pretty hard to resist, and I think it only makes us better. Professional development, I believe every day I got onto Twitter was a professional development day for me in some aspect or another. I was being constantly exposed to new web tools, to blogs that were discussing educational issues and so on. So as far as professional development goes, I think I grew more professionally this year than in any year prior to this. I've definitely become a 21st century educator and a 21st century learner through this course, and I'm very comfortable now looking at the internet and the tools the internet provides as a way of educating youth and myself. And finally, I think it's made me more creative. I was producing cartoons, I was producing content in blogs and so on. These are things I wasn't doing before. I've become a much more prolific writer than I'd ever been before in my life, and I have all of that to thank Dr. Kuros for. I want to say though, I also had to accept failure with this class, and I'll illustrate here to you. My plan for this presentation was to do a recording on a smartboard, and you can see it here in the window. And I discovered that it comes out too small. It's too long to record it, and I'll just play a little bit here for you, just so you can see for yourself what I'm talking about. Personal growth, probably the most important area to look at with anything you do. For me, this class has made me grow. I've become a leader in the school in terms of professional development. I organized a session in Technology Thursdays that we did 4 weeks in a row. We've had some factors that have interfered with it recently. So just an example of what things I had to contend with, and unfortunately it was a 21-minute production. I tried it twice, and unfortunately I just couldn't use it. The quality wasn't there, and so I've switched to doing a Jing cast, and I think it's still a good way of doing it. Unfortunate though that it didn't work the way I'd envisioned it working. The positive though, even from failure, I learned how to operate a smartboard. And I think with that thought, I think it's time for me to wrap this up, only to say that there's still so much more that I want to learn, and when a course leaves you wanting to learn more, I think the class has to be considered very successful. And in closing, I'd just like to thank Dr. Kuros. EC&I 831 has been the best class I've ever taken.